Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton and beyond. This week, we visit Japan's training headquarters in Tokyo, where it's all smiles after a successful Olympic campaign. And we report on the Pan America Junior Development Camp held in Peru. In its badminton history, Japan has consistently had a presence on the global scene. Always regarded as a worthy challenger, but not usually considered a genuine threat to the sport's powerhouses. But that has changed in recent years. When the nation clinched its first ever Thomas Cup victory in 2014, and the women battled their way to the last two of the Uber Cup the same year, the world sat up and took notice of Japan and its emerging talents. Their shuttlers have since exploded onto the scene and have been making headlines. Japan hit the front page news of the sport again at the recent Rio Olympic Games. 4 years ago, the country clinched its first medal in the sport after winning silver in women's doubles. And this year, they've gone one better. They rewrote history, claiming 2 badminton medals at the Games. A first ever gold after Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi grabbed the crown in women's doubles, and Nozomi Okuhara brought home the first bronze in women's singles.
I
personally had my goals set on 2 medals. Aside from Sho Sasaki, it was the first time for the rest of the players at this year's Olympics. They were enjoying good results in tournaments prior to the Olympics, so the general feeling was that if you continued to work and train hard, everyone would have a chance for a medal.
Ever since we failed to qualify for the London Olympics, to win the gold medal in Rio became our goal for the past 4 years. So I'm first and foremost very excited that our dream came true. It was certainly a wonderful feeling. Although I didn't really expect it, of course I'm very happy that it happened.
I'm delighted that Okuhara won a medal. Although the bronze playoff was a walkover, it was still our goal to bring home a medal, and we did. So I am very happy.
The preparation for the pinnacle of sport was second to none, and nothing was left to chance. The shuttlers went through a personal, specialized training program ahead of the Games, and also attended an intensive team training camp aimed at preparing them for the task ahead in Brazil.
We had a 2-week training camp here at the National Center before we left for Rio. For all the 9 players who were going to Rio, we also made sure that they were injury-free. We had prepared a tough training program for them. It was very intensive and tough for the players, but they followed it through very well, and they were also mentally prepared for the Games. We had 10 days of training once we were in Rio. We trained well, and we had access to the match and practice courts. It was great that our team arrived in Rio earlier than other teams, so that we had a chance to acclimatize better at the tournament venue.
The hard work, dedication, and commitment certainly paid off. Already a force to be reckoned with and a genuine rival to its East Asian neighbors in recent times, Japan's achievements in Rio further established the country's growing superiority in the sport. Japan's recent Olympic success is more than just individual glory. It has helped raise the profile of the sport at home. Its achievements on sport's biggest stage have boosted the popularity of badminton and have paved the way for its growth. Seats are filling up at tournaments, and the players are getting recognized on the streets.
It has never happened before, but nowadays, people will come up to me and wish me luck or say hello at places like the subway. I've not experienced it before, so I'm very surprised.
We received a lot of support during the Olympics. It is good that the sport is getting more recognition. People now come up to me and say they've watched us on TV and cheered for us. So I've come to realize how special the Olympics is.
舞台だったんだなってすごく思いました。
まあ今まではオリンピック戻っていってちょっと初めての合宿。
When we came back from Rio, we didn't see very obvious signs that badminton has grown in popularity. But then, I heard that Yonex Open Japan was sold out, and I was told that extra seats were added at the venue. So that is good news that the sport is becoming more popular. In that sense, I can now see that badminton has great potential to grow bigger.
大きなスポーツができるの可能性。
Even though the Summer Games have ended, the work does not stop, as there are tournaments in which to compete, titles to win, and a new generation of shuttlers to be nurtured and prepped to take up the mantle.
やっぱり今オリンピック終わってだから、
Well, now that the Olympics is over, we will now see some players retiring. So we will need to pay more attention to the younger generations, including the junior players. So thinking ahead, in the next 4 years, we will focus more on the younger players. We will prepare them and give them sufficient training and guidance in our camps. And for them to obtain valuable match experience, we will send them to various tournaments. Players like Okuhara, Yamaguchi, Matsutomo, and Takahashi are able to continue to the Tokyo Olympics. So we will continue training them to play and compete at the highest level.
ちょっと頑張りたいと思います。
The land of the rising sun is certainly shining bright, and its ambition doesn't look like it's going to set anytime soon, as badminton in Japan continues to grow in dominance and supremacy. Time to test your badminton knowledge. In this week's trivia, we want you to guess who this former player is. He is such a legend, you'll only need one clue. I was known as Mr. Badminton. Do you know who this is? We reveal the answer after the break. When we return, we report on the recently concluded Indonesian Masters. Before the break, we asked you to guess who this former player is. I was known as Mr. Badminton. The answer is Walton Frost. The Danish shuttler is one of the sport's all-time greats and was inducted into the BWF Hall of Fame in 1998. In the 1980s, Frost won the All England 4 times and nearly every title in Europe and Asia. It was during this period that he dominated the world stage and became known as Mr. Badminton. The Great Dane was most successful at home, winning the Denmark Open a whopping 8 times and holding the men's singles title consecutively for 7 years from 1980 to 1987. The 2016 Yonex Denmark Open kickstarts the European leg of the MetLife BWF World Superseries next week. And with only 4 more tournaments left, the battle heats up as players vie for a place in the season-ending finals in Dubai. Last week saw another edition of the SCG Thailand Open when Bangkok hosted the Grand Prix Gold tournament at the Nimi Butcher Stadium. The women's doubles event raised the curtains on finals day, with home favourites Putita Supajiraku and Sapsiri Teratanachai up against Japan's Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara. Ranked 15th in the world, the Thais were eager to impress the local fans and quickly sealed the first game without any real difficulty. Runners-up at the Yonex US Open, the Japanese women tried to stay close, but they simply couldn't find a way past their Southeast Asian opponents. The Thais went on to wrap up the second game and match comfortably. The final score, 21-12, 21-17. The women's singles final was another Thailand-Japan contest. This time, it was the turn of Busanan Ongbunrumpan attempting to keep the winning momentum against Aya Ohori. It was a feisty battle in the opener, with both players keeping pace with each other. The contest went to 23-all before a determined Ohori managed to pull away and grab the first game. Physically and mentally drained, the Thai shuttler came undone in the following game, and the Japanese world number 35 finished off the match with ease. Ohori was crowned the winner after 49 minutes. 25-23, 21-8 the final score. Japan rolled out its last challenge of the day in the men's doubles final. Takuto Inui and Yuki Kaneko faced off against Indonesia's Berry Anggriawan and Rian Agung Saputro. Knowing that they were going separate ways following a decision by the Indonesian coaches earlier last week to split the pair after the competition, Anggriawan and Saputro were looking for one last hurrah in Thailand. They had to recover from a first game loss to force the match into a rubber. The deciding game proved to be a nail-biting contest, and eventually the Indonesian men shook off their nerves to clinch the partnership's second Grand Prix Gold triumph. The final score read 17-21, 21-14, 21-18. In the mixed doubles final, Hong Kong's Tan Chun Man and Tse Ying Sweat knew they had a fight on their hands against third seeds from Malaysia, Tan Kian Meng and Lai Pei Ching. The Hong Kongers made a good start, but once Tan and Lai found their rhythm, the first game was soon out of their reach. Tang and Tze came out stronger in the second and built a healthy lead until midway in the game. Similar to the opener, their Malaysian opponents clawed themselves back into contention before dealing a cruel blow to the Hong Kong duo. Tan and Lai victorious in straight games, 21-16, 22-20. The men's singles was the concluding event, and it saw Thai shuttler Tanonsak Sinsombonsuk greeted with rapturous support when he faced Indonesian veteran Sonny Dwi Kunchoro. Inspired by the crowd, the Thai world number 26 was in cruise control as he comfortably bagged the first game. OUE Singapore Open champion Kunchoro struggled to keep up with his younger opponent's energy throughout the match, and after 42 minutes of play, the Indonesian player was defeated in straight games. Sinsombonsuk walked away with the men's solo title to the delight of the home fans. 21-15, 21-16, the final score. This is Jakarta, the proud capital of Indonesia. The iconic Istora Senayan is home to one of the most anticipated tournaments on the BWF World Superseries circuit, the Indonesia Open. With Indonesia's population at over 250 million, badminton chiefs at PBSI recognize that many local fans outside of the capital stand to miss out on the annual world-class competition. So with its Grand Prix Gold event, the Indonesian Masters, the administrators have been able to pacify the rest of the home support by empowering provincial associations to stage the tournament in various cities.
We try to have the different hosts in the different cities. Yeah, I mean the purpose is to let the local and also to experience like how to hold the event, and also at the same time also for the society of that province to see the international players, how they play. And also, I mean, there's so many benefits for the local to host international events.
In recent years, the Indonesian Masters has traveled to locations like Palembang and Malang. 2016 saw the province of East Kalimantan grab the honors with Balikpapan as its chosen host city.
Kalau untuk Balikpapan, ini pertama kali GPG.
This is the first time the GPG event is held here in Balikpapan. But for East Kalimantan, this is the third time. The previous two occasions were at Samarinda. Our association is very happy to be the host for this GPG event. This is possible because we were able to gain a lot of support from many people. The high enthusiasm from the locals here has helped as well.
Dan juga antusias masyarakat sangat tinggi.
Our cameras were in the seaport city to experience the buzz which the Indonesian Masters caused recently in eastern Borneo. Despite rival host bids, Balikpapan impressed selectors the most with its modern infrastructure.
Ada 3 kota di Indonesia mendapatkan kesempatan.
There were 3 cities in the running, but from numerous aspects, Balikpapan had the edge. Firstly, it's because of our airport. The Balikpapan airport is relatively new with modern facilities. It's ready to receive international guests. Our venue was also regarded good enough to hold the competition. The hotel accommodation here in Balikpapan also met expectations.
Hotel di Balikpapan cukup baik.
Once the formalities were over, the hard work began. Local administrators were quick to tap into the expertise of PBSI to ensure all requirements met the desired international standards.
Sudah 6 bulan sebelum ini dari pusat datang ke Balikpapan.
6 months ago, members from the National Association came here to work out the details of organizing this event. The BWF also sent in a team to inspect our preparations. Once all parties are satisfied and everything was in order, we all worked closely together in the lead-up to the tournament.
Melaksanakan ini.
Basically, we try to give the right proportion for the local committee to get involved as well. So they feel like, that I'm part of it, I'm doing it. So it's not about the PBSI. Basically, we want the local committee to feel like we're doing it.
There was very little concern that the tournament lacked appeal to the locals, because, as with most Indonesian cities, badminton has a massive following in Balikpapan.
Kalau di Balikpapan, reception masyarakat di sini.
In Balikpapan, the reception has been fantastic, especially if we hold age group tournaments. The parents are very supportive and enthusiastic of these activities. If we look at the national competitions, we actually hold the record of having the most participants outside of Java at the moment.
Itu pesertanya terbanyak di Indonesia selain di Jawa.
Saya berharap untuk warga Balikpapan.
For us here at Balikpapan, I hope there'll be even more badminton interest and that one of us will become an international player.
Jadi pemain internasional ke depannya dengan adanya event ini.
Event ini besar ya.
This is a big event. As a local here, I'm very excited as I was only able to watch these tournaments on TV.
Kan acaranya di televisi gitu.
The experience gained in organizing the Indonesian Masters had spurred local administrators to set their sights on hosting the nation's premier event. 2014 host Palembang is hoping to take the next step up.
Palembang recently will be the innovating the whole stadium for the badminton. They already discussed with the PBSI already, like what is the criteria in terms like hosting Super Series. There is a chance that Palembang one day could host Super Series Premier.
For now, Balikpapan is satisfied to just be considered for future installments of the Grand Prix Gold event.
Harapan kami dari Pemkot Balikpapan.
If we are given the opportunity again, we will be grateful to be host for future editions. But this is up to PBSI to make the decisions. We know other cities may need the chance to hold this event as well, so that their supporters in these parts can enjoy the experience and feel appreciated.
Masyarakat di Indonesia bisa merata begitu.
Balikpapan proved to be yet another successful campaign of the Indonesian Masters. There's no doubt that wherever this badminton event goes, the Indonesian fans will be entertained with a great badminton experience. After the break, we look at how Badminton Pan Am is helping nurture the region's young shuttlers with its regional training program. Visit our YouTube channel, badmintonworld.tv. There are tournament highlights, plays of the day, as well as past matches to savor. Missed an episode of Badminton Unlimited? Do not fret. All the episodes are available for your viewing pleasure. All the best badminton clips are just a click away. Lima, the capital of Peru, has been at the center of badminton activities lately. First, they hosted the Pan Am Junior Championships, where over 300 young shuttlers from 19 countries across the Americas battled to be crowned champions of Pan America. When the buzz of the competition was over, the Pan Am Junior Academy commenced. 26 up-and-coming players from 12 nations, including host Peru, took to the courts once again. But this time, it was not for bragging rights, but to further hone their skills in the racket sport.
All the camps began in the year 2000. After year 2000, after each Junior Pan Am, there comes an academy, and the idea is to give players from different associations the opportunity to be exposed to different new techniques, new types of training, make some corrections, so when they go back home, they come motivated and they come with a new interest in badminton.
The week-long camp started the day after the championships ended. Each of the 12 participating associations sent 2 players, with the host nation allowed up to 4 players. And the young shuttlers were enthusiastic from the get-go.
I want to take advantage of this session to train as much as I can and to correct some of my mistakes, because by correcting them, I'll be better.
I think they can help me in the physical and technical areas of my game and in my movement. That is what I need to improve my technique and to be able to move better around the court.
The age that we recommend strongly is between 14 years old and 18 years old. That means they are motivated to continue participating in the Junior Pan Ams and improve, and come back with experience.
And what better way to learn the art of badminton than from someone hailing from one of the sport's badminton powerhouses? China's Liu Xiaomu has over 18 years of coaching experience and is currently the US national team coach. He was invited by Badminton Pan Am to lead this year's academy, something he has done for the last few years.
这次集训主要的重点是 The
main aim of gathering all these youths is to train them in the basic techniques of badminton. I've divided them into groups depending on their skill level. Those high-skilled players are taught more advanced techniques, and we also want to improve on what they already know. We want to correct and improve their style and shots. For those players at a lower level, we concentrate on getting their basics right. This will help them build a strong foundation. In some sessions, we also pair the stronger players with the weaker ones, so they can learn from each other.
We have, besides Liu Xiaomu, Peru is providing us with 4 assistant coaches that they are very eager to learn from Liu and also to share the experience of the camp with them. So that's also one of the work that we do in Badminton Pan Am. When we host a camp in one country, that the local staff, coaches get experience and they can improve as well.
At the end of the day, it all came down to how much the young participants, the future of Pan Am badminton, can benefit from this junior academy and how they can share their experiences with their teammates back home.
My shots and my movements are getting better. I feel that my game has improved and I am more efficient in how I play my shots.
And the idea is that they go back, talk with their coaches and say, hey, I was there and I did this new shot or this new grip of a racket or this new exercise, and it can help us.
The success of academies such as this has proved that the sport is growing healthily in the Pan American region and is making good strides in the continent. It is not going to be an overnight success for the administrators, but it is their hope that one day some of these players will fly their country's flag on the international badminton scene. Before we go, let's see what the international circuit looks like as we check the Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we have a heart-to-heart with Sayaka Sato of Japan as the women's singles player tells us about the challenges she has faced to stay competitive in a demanding women's field. See you next week.